So we're going to talk about another super important topic in lesson 3, and that's searching and selecting your staff. These people are going to represent you as a company. They are going to be an extension of you and your company. You hire trash staff, you're going to have a trash business, and people are going to think you are trash. That's the bottom line. So take your hiring process very seriously. Do not hire just because someone is cheap. Do your due diligence. Now, staffing in assisted living facility is a crucial aspect of ensuring quality care for your residents. We're going to talk about some key actions of finding and hiring quality staff. So you got to identify your staffing needs, for one. Look at your facility. What you see, you have 2 floors, you have, it's kind of spread out. You think, all right, am I going to need 1, 2, or 3 staff members for this place to run smoothly? You got to look at the level of care of your clients. You need to look and see how easy it is to maintain the house. And a lot of times, it's stuff that you're going to just figure out on the fly, but you have to be willing to make adjustments on the fly to keep your business, running smoothly. So you just got to identify your needs. Is this person a good cook? Can this person clean? You got to look at all that. Like I said, facility size. You got to also, in your staffing manual and staffing book, you got to develop clear job descriptions for each position. So when they come on, they shouldn't have any surprises when they're starting to work. So they know exactly what they're supposed to do from day to day. There's no surprises. They sign for this position. They know they're supposed to help clients out of the bed. They can't say, oh, I didn't know this was in my job description. No, this was in your job description and you trained on it, because you have to train your staff members too. You can't just say start tomorrow and here's a booklet so you know everything. You have to walk through with them. If you don't do it, have your manager do it. They have to train your staff for at least 2 days. That's the manager's job. Even the state doesn't say that, but I say, like, my staff has to be at least trained and walk through for a week. And that's even if the most experienced people that come to my facilities. I still want to make sure they know what my facility requirements are and my culture of my business is. So, to find people, you use traditional methods: job boards, local newspapers, online platforms, and, just advertise your job openings. And, once people get the buzz that you're a good employer, and they'll start sending people your way. No different than employees, no different than, clients. These people, they want to work in good working environments too. So even down to the facility, if you have a really nice facility, think about it. You want to work in a crap place all day that's not nice, or you want to work in some place that feels like home, where the person feels like, oh, I'm working, but this sure feels like home. Like, I can feel comfortable working here. This is nice. So the environment in your facility is just as important for your staff as it is for your clients. So, next thing is you have to screen these people well, conduct thorough interviews, talk to them, ask fact-finding questions, and see if they're compatible with you. Because you'll be surprised. You have some people, they only want to work to get a check. They want to work just to pay their bills. They don't want to take care of people. They don't want to do the job. So you have to ask these questions. You have to, and most times people will tell on themselves. You get people, they'll start talking crap about their old boss. And it's like, oh, I wonder if you're going to be talking bad about me like this if you started working here. They just start saying what they didn't want to do and what they do want to do. And they may not be team players. And you can think like, oh, this person's not going to be a team player. This person's going to be a headache. And you just say, oh, I'll call you if I need you. Thank you. And then just never call, because this person might be a headache. Make sure you do your background checks. You're supposed to, by law, you're supposed to have your background checks done. Some people, when they get open, they have these people in their facilities. They haven't done a background check. They haven't done the PPE test to make sure they don't have any communicable diseases. And you have these people working with your client. So what if something happens The state comes in and they're going to look at this employee file and they're going to say, oh, you didn't even perform a background check on this person, which you're supposed to, or they don't have all their paperwork documented. And here's saying that they can even do the job. You just have someone in here just filling in just because you needed someone. They're going to cite you and it's not going to be good. So you want to make sure you do a thorough background check. And I always say you should always interview, even if you don't have any openings. That way you can have a backlog of people with their information and files on deck where if you need them, just call them. Make them sign a PRN agreement, which is he's like, oh, I don't need you now, but can I reserve the right to call you and have you on file? And not all that means is you just have their paperwork on file. So if you ever need them, you officially have them. So you don't have to go through the hiring process. They're on your team, but they're just not giving them any hours unless you need them. So, always look for good people. Then you might have someone fall through the cracks that you don't like, or they move or something, and you have a stack of 5 or 6 good candidates that you can at least call on, and hopefully they're available, and they can come work with you. And make sure you check references. So that's very important. Call the reference, talk to the people, say, is this person easy to work with? Why did they quit? Take your time to do a thorough investigation on this person, because believe it or not, this person represents you and your business. If something happens and if they're the culprit or they're the reason why you had being cited, they can move and get another job, and this stink is going to be left on your business. So you may as well do your due diligence as much as you can in the beginning, because they'll be off to the next job and you'll be cleaning up their mess. So, and I feel very strongly about that. I've had incidents, and I've gotten to be a stickler with hiring over the last 15 years. And you make sure that you have people that you trust, and that you've done a thorough background check, and always just take care of the people that take care of you. The employees that are good employees, give them Christmas bonuses, make sure they're taken care of. They have children, buy their kids gifts. Like, make sure you stick with your best employees, because those are the ones that's going to bail you out when you need them. If someone calls out of work and you've taken care of this person and helped them and make sure you gave them Christmas bonuses and paid them well, and always, make sure that you appreciated them, then you'll call them and say, hey, so-and-so called out. Could you please fill in for me? And they'll be like, okay, you always take good care of me. Thank you. I'll go and I got your back. Perfect. On Christmas, make sure you give them Christmas gifts, and Thanksgiving, make sure you give them a gift basket or something. Like, it doesn't take much, but these people are humans, and they deserve to be treated and made to feel appreciated. And in turn, they'll take care of you as well. So, where do you find staff? Register your facility with MetaPRN. So if you want to get, a bunch of contract workers and you can start them off that way, you can start off hiring someone on a contract basis, which is easy. If they don't work, you just cancel the contract. It's a little bit harder to get rid of an employee. But you get somebody temporarily in on contract work. If they turn out to do well, you just bring them on full time. So it's a platform. I just use, here it is. You literally can just get staff from on a contract basis. And you like them, you just keep them. If not, you just say thank you for your time. You have a good day. But always make sure that you get all the documentation before they start. And make sure that documentation is up to date, because some people will bring in certificates, the manager certificate or CPR first aid or whatever certificates they need to work in your facility, and they'll be expired, or they haven't done their continuing education classes. So you have to make sure they're on top of all this stuff. And as a owner, if they're not on top of it, you're not on top of it, because when the state comes in, all they're going to see is that you don't have a proper employee working a shift. You have someone that doesn't have the correct documentation. They're going to cite you. So, you have your employee book. It has their files. It has everything in it. The state's going to look through that, and they're going to look at expiration dates. They're going to make sure this person has up-to-date PPE tests. They're going to make sure this person has a background check that's up-to-date. So you may as well stay on top of it and just have that be a part of the regular system, where when it's time for them to renew their stuff, they renew it. So just keeps things easier for you and easier for your facility to run.